Okay, this is a petition to the Government of India to end state violence, remove military forces and AFSPA from Kashmir. This summer, Indian troops and police have systematically murdered around 55 people in Kashmir. In April, 3 innocent youth were shot in cold blood in Machir forest of North Kashmir and then portrayed as terrorists to earn rewards instituted by the government for troops who kill insurgents in Kashmir. It was only after incessant protests by local people that the bodies were exhumed and identified as local youth. Just before this fake encounter, a 70-year-old man was also killed in the same area and projected as a foreign terrorist. His son identified him after his picture appeared in the newspaper. In a similar incident in April, Indian soldiers shot dead a local villager carrying firewood from the forest of Kelar in South Kashmir. In protest against these killings, people in Kashmir initially attempted to stage peaceful demonstrations. They demanded that the culprits be brought to book. The government, instead of assuring people that impartial inquiries into the incidents would be conducted and those responsible would be punished, launched a full-scale assault on protest demonstrations and clamped down heavily against any dissent. Indian paramilitary forces like the CRPF have killed more than 50 people, including around 20 teenage boys and 2 young women while protesting against this recent spate of fake encounters and firings in Kashmir. One of those killed is 9-year-old Tawqir Ahmed, who was not even part of the protests. In Anantnag, where 3 boys were killed, eyewitnesses claim that teenagers were dragged out of their homes and shot in the courtyard of one of the houses. A 24-year-old woman was shot in her chest by CRPF in Srinagar while looking at the street protest from a window of her house. The news that boys as young as 8 are being beaten to death is extremely disturbing. On August 12, 2010, 4 people were shot to death in different parts of Kashmir, including a 65-year-old man. On the same day, the paramilitary soldiers also shot Jana Begum in her leg and seriously injured her. Authorities have also incarcerated hundreds of teenagers, some as young as 12 and 13. For last 2 months, the government has imposed strict curfew on people's movements. There have been reports of mass beatings and molestations in a number of localities. Many people, especially in Srinagar and other towns, are facing extreme shortages of food and medicine. The sick and injured have been barred from reaching hospitals. Staff members of various hospitals have said they were beaten up and their curfew passes strong. There are reports that Indian government has imposed a gag order on the media in Kashmir, only letting a select few pro-establishment journalists to report. Earlier in the month, local journalists and cameramen in a joint statement said their passes were snatched and their equipment broken. Government, they said, has refused to issue new passes to them. As a result, very little information is flowing out of Kashmir. Some Kashmiri activists who uploaded videos of street demonstrations have been sent to prison. Cell phone services have been jammed at various places, while the government has banned short messaging services as well, 3rd time in the last 3 years. More than 500,000 soldiers are stationed in Kashmir and thousands patrol the streets and villages of Kashmir. Together, they occupy almost 100,000 acres of land. For a population of 10 million Kashmiris, the soldier-to-civilian ratio of around 70 to 1,000 is extremely high, very disturbing and fraught with heavy risk to civilian life. The government first deployed a significant chunk of its military to battle militants fighting to liberate Kashmir from Indian rule. The armed insurgency itself had resulted from a violent quelling of popular pro-freedom protests in the early 1990s. For the last 7 years, however, the government has repeatedly said that not more than a few hundred ragtag militants remain in the fight. Yet the government maintains a massive military manpower and infrastructure in Kashmir, which has created structural conditions of oppression of Kashmiris. Everyday life in Kashmir is highly militarized. People continuously face risks to their lives and are subjected to threats and humiliation. The Indian government, instead of taking action against human rights violators, shields them from prosecution. Draconian laws like the AFSPA and the Disturbed Areas Act have been put in place to give immunity to security agencies against any civil prosecution. Over the last 20 years, tens of thousands of Kashmiris have been killed or forcibly disappeared. Thousands are languishing in jails for demanding a political solution to the Kashmir issue. Under the Public Safety Act, hundreds of activists remain in jail without trial. For some weeks in July, law and order in Srinagar was handed over to the army, raising fears of increasing civilian casualties of fear-proofed arrest. The international community has largely remained silent on the plight of Kashmiris. The government encourages a disinformation campaign that seeks to put blame for the recent protests on Pakistan. It also has sought to muzzle international attention to its appalling human rights record in Kashmir. Government of India has tried to put pressure on UN Secretary General's office to recant their statement of concern. We, as Indian citizens and persons of Indian origin who deeply care about the well-being of democracy and justice in India, call upon the Government of India to 1. End its militarized governance of Kashmir and withdraw army from populated areas. 2. Revoke the draconian AFSPA, which gives Indian troops immunity from civil legal action and promotes human rights violations. 3. End oppression of Kashmiri people, release political prisoners and young boys from jails, and lift the overwhelming security apparatus from Kashmir. 4. Initiate meaningful plans to democratically resolve the issue and include Kashmiris as the primary party to such a process.